There's a strange stage between "we're just friends" and "there's definitely something here." And honestly, it can be the most confusing stage of all. Because nothing has been officially said. Nobody has admitted anything. You're not calling it a relationship. You're not even calling it a crush. You just know that when this person is around, something feels different. And somehow they seem different around you too. But whenever the thought gets a little too close to the word love, both of you quietly step backward. No, it's nothing. Just a normal connection. A completely ordinary person. A completely ordinary amount of thinking about them. Totally normal. Except, normal people don't usually become the person you instinctively want to tell things to. Normal people don't usually make you notice tiny changes in your own mood. And normal connections don't always create that strange feeling of, I don't know what this is, but I don't want it to disappear. So today, forget the obvious signs. We're not talking about staring, jealousy, constant texting, or dramatic romantic moments. Let's look at 3 quieter signs that you both may feel something meaningful, while neither of you is ready to give that feeling a name. And the third one is where things get especially interesting. Number 1. You both keep giving the feeling a safe name. This is subtle. Maybe someone asks, "Are you too close?" And suddenly you both become extremely interested in giving the safest possible answer. "Yeah, we're friends." Simple, perfectly reasonable. Conversation over. Except you both know the word friends doesn't quite explain everything. It's not necessarily wrong. You may genuinely be friends. But there's something extra happening inside that friendship. A certain warmth, a certain anticipation, a certain comfort. And neither person wants to be the one who says, "Actually, I think I might feel something more." So you use harmless words. Good friend, close friend, someone I really like talking to, someone I trust. All technically true, and yet none of them quite captures the whole feeling. That's the interesting part. When you're not ready to call something love, you often don't stop feeling it. You simply give it a safer name. Instead of saying, "I missed you," you say, "Where have you been?" Instead of, "I wanted to see you," you say, "I happened to be nearby." Instead of, "I was thinking about you," you say, "Oh, I saw something that reminded me of you." See what happened? The feeling stayed, only the language changed. And if they're doing the same thing, you may notice something almost funny. Both of you seem very comfortable being close, as long as nobody officially explains why. You can spend time together. You can care about each other. You can share personal things. You can have your own little routines. But the moment someone tries to define it, suddenly everyone becomes a professional escape artist. Why does it need a label? Let's not make it weird. We're just really close. And maybe that's true, but sometimes the hesitation itself tells you something. Not necessarily that it's love, just that the connection has become important enough that naming it feels risky. Because once you give a feeling a name, it becomes real in a different way. And maybe neither of you is ready for that yet, so you leave it unnamed. Not because there's nothing there, but because you're still figuring out what there actually is. Number 2, you both start noticing how the other person changes your mood. This one can sneak up on you. You have a normal day. Maybe you're tired, annoyed, bored. Nothing particularly exciting is happening. Then you talk to them, and somehow you feel lighter afterward. Not because they performed some magical emotional rescue. Maybe they didn't even say anything particularly special. You just enjoyed being around them. You laughed. You talked about something random. Maybe they made one stupid joke that should not have been that funny, but somehow it worked. And afterward you're thinking, okay, why am I suddenly in a better mood? That's when you start noticing their effect on you. But here's the unusual part. They may notice yours too. Maybe they tell you, "I always feel better after talking to you." Or perhaps they don't say it directly. You simply notice that when they're around, they become more relaxed, more playful, more talkative, more themselves. Maybe they're quiet with everyone else, but somehow they start joking when you appear. Maybe they're having a difficult day, and you don't even have to fix anything. Just being there seems to help. That's different from simply making someone laugh. It's about emotional association. Your brain starts connecting this person with a certain feeling: comfort, relief, excitement, calm, happiness. And theirs may be doing the same with you. Eventually, you may start noticing something almost ridiculous. You can tell what kind of mood they're in before they say anything. You walk in and immediately think, something's off. Or you notice, okay, they're definitely in a good mood today. And they can do the same with you. You've both become familiar with each other's emotional rhythm. That's a very quiet form of closeness. But there's an even more interesting part. You don't necessarily try to change each other's mood. You simply become a place where the other person can stop performing. They don't have to pretend everything is perfect. You don't either. You can have a bad day and still talk. You can be quiet without explaining yourself. You can laugh 5 minutes later, and nothing feels broken. That's when a connection starts feeling less like entertainment and more like emotional comfort. And maybe that's exactly why neither of you wants to call it love yet. Because love sounds huge, serious, permanent. But what you're experiencing right now, it might simply feel like, I really like how I feel when you're around. And honestly, sometimes that's where deeper feelings begin. Number 3, you both have things you don't want to rush, even though you could. This one is different, because when people feel strongly about something, they often want certainty immediately. What are we? Where is this going? How do they feel? But sometimes, two people who genuinely value a connection do the opposite. They slow down, not because they don't care, because they do. You don't want to force a conversation before you're ready. You don't want to turn every good moment into a question. You don't want to take something comfortable and suddenly make it complicated. So you let it exist. Maybe you both naturally avoid pushing things too far. One person gets a little more personal, then gives the other space. The other person responds, but doesn't demand more. You both seem to understand that there's something worth protecting, and that creates a very unusual kind of patience. You don't need everything figured out today. You can simply enjoy talking, enjoy laughing, enjoy knowing each other better, enjoy discovering little things. And strangely, the connection becomes stronger because neither person is trying to force it. Think about it. If someone means very little to you, there's usually not much to protect. You can be careless. You can disappear. You can make everything awkward and walk away. But when something matters, you become more thoughtful. You think before you speak. You notice when the other person is uncomfortable. You give them room. You don't pressure them to define what they feel. And if they're doing the same for you, that's worth noticing. Maybe you both know there's a possibility of something deeper. Maybe you both suspect it. But you're not ready to turn a beautiful uncertainty into a serious conversation. So instead, you keep learning each other. One story at a time, one laugh at a time, one unexpectedly honest conversation at a time. And maybe that patience is actually telling you something. You're not rushing because you don't care. You're not rushing because you care enough to let the connection become what it's naturally going to become. You can feel something deeply without knowing exactly what it is. Not every strong connection needs an immediate label. Sometimes it's friendship with unusual closeness. Sometimes it's the beginning of romantic feelings. Sometimes it's simply two people discovering that they matter to each other more than expected. And that's why it's important not to turn every little behavior into proof of secret love. Look at the pattern. Look at the mutuality. Look at how you treat each other over time. Do you both give the connection safe, harmless names because the real one feels too big? Do you both notice how the other changes your mood? Do you both seem unwilling to rush something that has quietly become important? If those things keep happening from both sides, then maybe there is something worth paying attention to. Not necessarily something you need to name today, just something real enough to notice. Because sometimes the beginning of love doesn't feel like, I'm in love with this person. It feels more like, why do I care so much what happens to them? Or, why does their absence feel different? Or, why do I want to tell them everything? Or perhaps the simplest one, why do I really, really hope this doesn't end? And maybe they're asking themselves the same questions. That's the beautiful uncertainty. Two people can stand in the same emotional doorway, both knowing there's something on the other side, and neither one has to walk through it immediately. Maybe you're both still figuring it out. Maybe the connection needs more time. Maybe one day you'll look back and realize exactly what it was. But for now, you don't have to call it love. You can simply call it what it is, something that matters, something that makes ordinary moments feel slightly better, something that makes you feel understood, something you both seem careful with, something neither of you wants to lose. And sometimes, that's more honest than forcing a label before you're ready. Because feelings don't always arrive with a name attached. Sometimes they arrive quietly. They sit beside you. They make you laugh. They make you feel comfortable. They make you care. And little by little, they become harder to ignore. Maybe that's where you both are right now. Not in love, not exactly. Just somewhere between, this is nothing, and I think this might be something. And perhaps the sweetest part? You may not be ready to call it love. But if you're both protecting it, both feeling it, and both quietly wondering where it could go, maybe you don't need to name it yet. Maybe you can simply let the next moment happen, then the next, and see what grows.